Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our stream. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If this is your first time to the stream, this is our live free trading room. We're testing out strategy here for 50% Fibonacci retracement. Morning, Bobby. Everything that we use here in the stream is absolutely free. If you're looking for the links, they're in the description below. You can download the NinjaTrader platform. All the indicators that we use are built into NinjaTrader, so nothing to purchase. No sales pitch here today. Sorry. If you're looking for a sales pitch, there's tons of videos on YouTube you can look at. I guarantee you. We definitely encourage everybody to join in on the discussion in the chat room. I know people are starting to use that a little bit more, and it's nice to see other people talking besides myself. I'm not much of a talker, to be honest, but I definitely enjoy learning from other people. Uh, Hopefully, you guys are getting something out of the stream. Alright, we'll go ahead and get our chart cleaned up from yesterday. Not a horrible day yesterday. We had a few trades, a couple winners, a couple losers. But a little bit better than last week. So to go ahead and erase your drawings off your chart, you just go right click on the chart and remove all drawing objects. I didn't have much time to do it yesterday, Martin. I kind of have a side project going right now. The engine in my truck blew, so I'm getting that replaced, and it's working me for sure. I did get the engine taken out yesterday. I ended up having to take the transmission out with it, which wasn't expecting to do that, so didn't leave me much extra time last night. But hopefully between today and tomorrow, we'll get some working on the scalping strategy. In the meantime, if you guys find anything that we can use, just shoot me an email with a link, and I'll check it out. Let's see here. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my normal screen, the Heikin-Ashi bars. We had switched over to the range bars yesterday. Try those out. Let's see. The only glitch I've seen on NinjaTrader is whenever I try to change the width of my bars, it saves it in there, but doesn't actually apply it to the chart. Not sure why that is. Nice. So we're starting off with the double bottom this morning. That's usually a pretty nice setup for a reversal. I don't know why it does this. Ugliness. Oh, that doesn't help. I get the wrong tick. 12. I just don't get it. I have to key it in to the dialog box like 10 times before it actually takes. Eh, good enough. We'll stick with that. The heck. Yep, double bottom there. Alright. So we'll go ahead and mark our overnight high. Set F6 on your keyboard, and then just tap on the high there. Overnight low. Go ahead and change these here. Make these orange today. Okay. If you're new to the stream and you need help getting anything set up in the charts or the Ninja Trader, just hop in the chat there and we'll help you out. Yeah, Martin, I keep going in here and changing my bar width, and no matter what I put in here, it just like reverts back to whatever it was. I don't know why. I usually like the 5 bar width, and that's not 5, I can tell you that. And then I'll come back in here and it'll say like 8. It's the weirdest thing. But something minor like that, no big deal. Yeah, it was a nice bottom off the 2814 level. Whenever that happens, obviously it's a good sign for reversal. We'll be looking for it to break this previous high here, but overall just kind of in a range right there. So might have a short working, might have a long working. I guess we'll find out after the open. Looks like the short's holding so far, so only time will tell. Everything sound good with the stream? All the volume levels good? Oh, what did I do? There we go. I'm going to try to keep my microphone on today while I'm talking. So the looks like the first support level is obviously going to be that overnight low, and then we got one down at 28.10 and another at 28.12. So there is some support down there. For our new traders, these pivot points here, I did not put those in the description, but all you have to do is right click on your screen, go to indicators, and just scroll down through here. These are the free indicators that come with NinjaTrader, and just find pivots and double click on that and apply. And the reason why we use these pivots is the market tends to react off those. Those are based on the previous day's high and low, also where it closed, and there's some mathematical calculations to it. I won't go into that, but the market does tend to react off those levels, hopefully. Alright, so it looks like we can get rid of this bullish channel that was forming. We finally dropped out of that. And yeah, based on the 15-minute chart, we're also going sideways. Well, we're in a long setup for the 15-minute chart. It dropped down to the entry area here a couple of times already between yesterday and now. So we should see a push upwards here. But we'll also drop this opposing short just in case. And we're also in a short setup. So it retraced here to the 50%, retraced here to the 50%. So our 15-minute chart's really not helping us out too much this morning. It could go either way. Yeah, so like Bobby was saying there, we are in a bit of a range here between this 28.14 and the 28.22. The only resistance above us is this 28.27 that it hit yesterday. So we'll go ahead and mark that. And just above that we'll have the 28.31.50. Which just so happens to be the first resistance and also one of yesterday's highs. And if I remember correctly, it's pretty much onwards and upwards from there. Nothing really holding us back. We'll go ahead and mark this low as well. Just want to get an idea of before you start the trading day is where your resistance levels are, where your support levels are, where you can expect some type of reaction um, in the market in case you are in a trade. It can help with your trading strategy. Obviously, you don't want to go into a trade right below a resistance level um, unless there's some strong movement. But we'll go ahead and check the news for the day. Okay, so we got inventory levels for petroleum, for crude oil, and new home sales report coming out, both 10 o'clock hour. I'll go ahead and put this link in the chat for you guys. And if you click on these, it'll give you the definition of those reports. And then it also gives you a description of how it may affect the market, which is nice. So we'll need to keep a lookout for those there. Uh, Probably affect the oil markets more than us, but it can have some reflection on it. All right, just about 10 minutes before the market opens. If anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to hit us up in the chat. Oh, how's that? There we go. If you're new to the stream, welcome. We do this stream every morning at 9 a.m. Just before the market opens. We go ahead and get our chart set up, check the news for the day, resistance and support levels. Everything that we use here on the stream is free. There's no sales pitches, um, and we're just a bunch of beginner traders. Some of us more experienced than others, I'm sure, but um, we're all here to learn new strategies and good practices. So about 8 minutes until the open. I'm gonna go ahead and grab myself a fresh cup of coffee and be right back. So we're back. The strategy that we're using is the 50% Fibonacci retracement. We're using a 6-tick stop loss as part of our strategy. We're using a $5,000 simulated account that we set up. Um, this is a reflection from our trades from yesterday. To set up your strategy, just go down to your Super Dom, click Edit. We'll be trading 2 contracts. The reason for that is just to practice using multiple price targets. Our first target is set at 12 ticks, second one at 16 ticks, but we'll adjust those as needed based on the targets that the fibs are showing. And we're using a 6-tick stop loss, $5,000 account. 6 ticks would be $150 with 2 contracts, which puts you right around the I believe the 2 to 3% range for your risk. Alright, so it looks like we broke that short, so we might be heading upwards. It is conforming to that channel though, pretty nicely. Pretty nice range too. It's a 8-point range. Some people like to trade the tops and bottoms of the channel. So since that short is broken, we'll go ahead and draw up our long setup. If you look at the daily chart, it is showing that we're still in a bullish trend. Had a slight pullback there, looks like maybe to the 38%, maybe even less. Need to adjust that there. And we do have some resistance up at right around the 86 area, if we do end up getting up that far sometime this week. Yeah, definitely. If we break out of this channel here at the 22 level, we'll be looking for a long for sure. So here we go. We're continuing up towards the top of that range. See if we can break out of it. So we're approaching that first pivot point. We'll see if it reacts to it or if it pushes through it. Normally, if it pushes through the pivot point, it'll usually continue on up to the next pivot point, which would be that high of yesterday, 28.31. So I'm thinking and hoping that it pushes right through that. Martin's going to take a chance and sell the top of that channel. It's a pretty high probability trade, definitely. Yeah, that sell's looking better and better, Martin. GM and Boeing reporting on this morning, apparently. Looks like we're getting some type of reaction to that pivot point. I don't know, Martin. Looks like it's going to walk right past that top of that channel. That's a nice move. So that should act as a support now since it's gone through it. Hasn't gone too far through it yet, so it could break down. We'll see. Martin's looking for a short here, so our entry area would be right in this 50% for the long. It's a little tight for our strategy. Want a little bit more risk to reward on that. Only looking at about a 2-point gain on that. Our first target would be the 0% at the 23 and a quarter. but we did break the overnight high, so we'll see what happens here. Next resistance is at 27. We didn't get a full pullback yet. We'll see what happens. Yeah, 1775 would be a good area. If it's going to pull back, it should pull back at least down to there for you. Looks like it wants to go up. So again, this would be a little bit tight for our setup. We'd be looking for it to pull back to this 50% retracement before we would look for the long. 2175 up to the 2475 is good risk to reward. And we would take the trade right in here, which would be right at the top of that channel, which should act as a support at this point. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts though, Martin. We should get a nice push up here since the sellers for that range are getting stopped out in this area. So So we're just adjusting our Fibonacci's up to the most significant recent low that would coincide with a good risk to reward. So far looking pretty good. Got a nice push and ease trend going here. So if we were to get a pullback here to our entry area, if we were to enter the trade at 23.50, that would put our stop right at the top of this uh, that channel range. This should act as a support. We'd like to have our stop just underneath it, but we would need to get down to like the 23 and a quarter. That's how it's looking on the 15-minute chart. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Just waiting on the market to form a trend here and give us a nice pullback for a long. If you guys are new to the stream and just getting your charts and NinjaTrader set up, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat there. We'll help you out. As we're waiting for this pullback here, I'll go ahead and show you. If you're having issues using the chat, if you're scrolling over here and trying to type and it says you need to create a channel. You're just going to go up to your little icon there, click on that, click on Creator Studio, and it'll pop up this bar here. Click on Channel and then Create Channel. Give it a name, and then you'll have a channel so that you can start typing in chat. Looks like we're continuing onward. Looks like we got a new subscriber. Whoever subscribed, thank you. Appreciate it. For some reason my notification thing isn't working. Just waiting on that pullback. If we were to get a full pullback from this this morning's low, looking at about the 28.19 area where we opened. But it looks like the bulls have taken over. Pivot trader, I'm not sure if we'd be able to get that chart. Let me just double check. Yeah, I'm not able to bring that one up. Looks like we might be working our way down for our first retracement here. We'll see if it holds here or if it's going to pass through that. Definitely like this trade here a little bit better if it were to pull back to here. Looks like it's trying to work down. We'll see if it holds here at this entry area. a feeling it's going to drop down to the back to the top of that channel though. For sure. Yeah, that's why within that first half hour of trading, kind of like to wait and see what it's going to do here, because I think it's going to roll over and pop back down to the top of this channel. Yeah, a lot of traders will see this move up. And they're like, oh, I got to get in the market, got to get in the market. I've done it myself. Yesterday, I tried to catch that ride up and got in a little bit too early. I think it was within the first half hour of trade, and ended up getting stopped out. Only to see it reverse at the top here. So the entry area is good until it breaks this 61.8. You got one tick past and you're still good. So if we get down to 22 and 3/4, that long trade would be dead, and we'd be looking for a little bit bigger pullback, which I'm thinking it's coming back down to here, so top of that channel. So that's where I'd be looking to get in. Alright, so now we're back down to this entry area. I would expect some type of resistance here at this top of this channel. We'll go ahead and draw from our peaks here and see if we can figure out where this thing's going. Yeah, maybe down to the top of this channel and then break out from there. So there's the top of the channel there. We'll see if it holds or if it's going to push through it. Pretty strong move down though. So it's on the 61.8 right now. Looks like we're starting to get some pushback from the bulls, but it might be too late for this trade. We'll see if it can pop out of there. Yep, so that trade there is dead. So now pull back to here and see if it holds in this area, which would make sense because it would be at the bottom of that channel. Retrace right to the open. It's got to get past that pivot point though. Overall, still in an upward trend. Nice strong move though. Kind of a repeat over here. So if we do get into this trade, we just want to be mindful of where our stops can be placed. I'd like to have it below the bottom of this channel. Starting to get some resistance here. Hopefully it'll make it down into our entry area. And we'll go long. Creating another big channel here. Another 8 or 9 point channel.
Order pending.
I think we're going to try to get in on this one. We'll see if we can get it just a little bit lower. I'd like to be below that 61.8. 20, 1850. Be close. Come on, get down there. It's struggling. Getting a lot of pushback here. Hopefully we get filled. Went right to that 50%. We'll see if it comes back down. I know one of my downfalls with this strategy is I've been a little hesitant to pull the trigger. Kind of doubting the strategy, but I like to have some confirmation that it's going to hold that line. If you did happen to get in on that trade, your first target would be up here at 26. So since it is going to come back down, it looks like I'm going to try to get in a little bit lower just so we can drop below that 61.8 for our stop, and below that channel a little bit. You got in at 21.75, Martin? Well, hopefully we can get back down there. I don't know if it's going to get back down there. So if it continues to want to go short, we'd be looking for it to hold within this area here and continue down. Hopefully for Martin's sake or anybody else who got in on this trade, it continues past that and breaks that short. Once again, I missed out on that 50%. I waited too long for confirmation. So we'll see if this long holds up for us. Feel a little bit safer once it gets past that 24 area. Could expect it to continue on up to the top of that channel. Hopefully it'll come back down, double bottom, and head on upward.
Order filled.
Now we just need that to hold. So our first target would be up here at 26. Pretty big spread there though, so I think we're going to take one contract off at this peak here, and then we'll ride the other one out. We made that mistake yesterday. We had $275 profit in the hole, and we just watched it come right back down and break even. So we'll take one contract off, pay for the trade, and then trail that stop. Hoping for a little bit stronger push here. See what happens. That's what we're looking for. Let's hope it gets up there, Martin. Not too reassuring that it couldn't make a new high here, but we'll see if it holds. Yeah, that's not good. New home sales down to 8-month low. We'll see how much that affects the market. Should maybe try to take some profit here. Come on, fill it. Really. Alright, so we got one contract off. We're in the plus right now for 118.28. So now we'll wait for this to continue upward and we'll trail our stop. I'm going to go ahead and break even on my stop for now. Wow. Hopefully we're going to head up back up towards the top of this channel. And this target isn't at any particular place. I'm just keeping it out of the way so we can trail the stop up. I will go ahead and move my stop just below this this low here, at swing low. If it's going to retrace, a healthy retracement, drop your fibs. Our healthy retracement would be right back to this area here. So we'll go ahead and keep our stop one tick below that. We just don't want to do what we did yesterday and give back that profit. That's a nice move up. We just broke this short, which is confirmation that we're going to continue long. So and the way I know that is basically just drop this short with the fibs down to the low. It broke this trade. It went through the 61.8 and it's continuing up. So we'll just wait for it to make a small retracement here, and then we'll move our stop below that that retracement once it makes a new high. and I'll show you how to do that. Bobby, where'd you put your target at? 25? Was it 25, 25? Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Just looking for a small retracement here, hopefully, and we can move our stop up. Yeah, if you look back at our entry here, we drew up from the low this morning. Actually, this was the overnight low, up to our high, retraced down right to the 50% area. Uh, we had support there from the open, had support there for the bottom of the channel, so it was a good entry area for sure. So we're just waiting for it to take a pause here, take a breather, let people take some profit here, and then we'll move our stop up once it makes a new high. But we can expect it to retrace back to this area. That's healthy. Yeah, you know what, guys, with the simulator, honestly, I don't think these orders, our targets, get filled as quickly as they would normally. I think it waits and makes you wait until the last person before it actually fills that target. Because if you ever notice, as soon as it fills your target, it pops right up. That means all those contracts have been filled and it's moving on to the next price. So honestly, I think to try to make it more realistic, they make you wait until all those contracts are filled before it actually fills that target price. So, in some sense, obviously, the simulator isn't going to be as accurate as actual trading. I sure as hell hope my broker would get my orders filled quicker than that. Right. So we'll be looking for it to make a new high here so we can move our stop up. If it struggles up here, I just might take profit. So I'm going to move my target down just in case I need to grab it. But if it starts to struggle here, I may take profit. I'm not thinking that it's going to, but you never know. That's a pretty strong move. I think we're going to push through it. Martin, did you get filled yet? Oh, you're out. Okay. Okay, we're struggling. I'm gonna at least move my stop up to there, and I'll move my target up to here. And if it pushes through, I'm not complaining, man. I'm at positive 400 for the day. I'm okay with that. And it's looking like it's probably going to, just based on the price action here. But I don't want to make that same mistake twice. So you got in down at 28.20 with us.
Stop filled.
All right, looks like we're getting some type of reaction here. Yeah, probably starting to get some type of reaction from the oil inventories report, but not bad. Uh, Ended up getting 278 there after commissions, and we'll wait for the next setup. Bobby, did you get out of that trade okay? Yeah, it looks like it's holding that pivot point still on the bottom of this channel. I'm not sure if it's going to actually hold it there or if it's going to drop through it with that news. I don't know why it took so long for it to react to that though. That's kind of weird. But you see what those tick charts do. As soon as news comes out, man, you see those bars form super quick. Yeah, it's starting to go above our stop, but that's okay. We made some money off that trade. We'll wait for things to normalize here a little bit, and we'll look for our next setup. I'll be right back. So we'll see if the bulls can continue their run here. Had a really quick reaction there. Seemed like it was kind of delayed though for some reason. Maybe people are just seeing it on CNBC or something. Yeah, with the oil news and the home sales news, could see a rundown here shortly. So we noticed it started having trouble up here, so it was a good thing that we moved our stop up. I guess the good thing there is we didn't get any slippage. It stopped us out right below that low that we had placed our stop at. But I have a feeling we're going to get some nice short setups here shortly. Starting to form that wedge. Pop below the channel there on that dropout, but may still hold. Martin's looking to go long here. 1950. If it holds there, hopefully it does for you, Martin. Starting to get some pushback from the bulls there at that pivot point. So it went right down to the 50% on the 15 minute. Didn't quite get up to the target area at 26 that we were hoping for, but the trade still is valid. It didn't break the trade. It went one tick past. I'm sorry. Yeah, it went right to the entry area. It didn't even touch the 61.8, but it bounced off the entry area. Could continue upwards from here and still get to that 26. But a lot of sideways action here, so well, if we're going to break that channel, it's going to be here. Yeah, so far we haven't really seen a strong pushback from the bulls after that news. See if it holds that swing low for you, Martin. So far, so good. Did you get filled on that or no? It just barely touched it. If not, it should come back down to there. That might be the low. We're starting to get some pushback here. Yeah, I went right back to that entry area on the 15 minute. See if it holds in that. Got the double bottom now, so we'll see if it holds that. If we were to go long, we'd be waiting for it to break these previous highs before we look for a long trade, just to make sure we're out of the woods. That's your short setup right there. You have the top of that old channel as resistance. Could see some reaction there. Yeah, same here, Bobby. It could go either way at this point. Here comes some volume here. This is nice. So that's a good short setup there. It just hit the 50%, held at that top of that channel. Let's see if it's going to hold. If you took that trade, it would be the 28.1950 for the first target. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you guys can follow. So we drew our short up from the high up here down to that 1950 swing low. Entry area was right at 28.22. We nailed it, and we're looking for it to come back down to that first target at 28.1950. Didn't quite get there yet. go ahead and get rid of the bottom of that channel for now. Kind of. Looks like the market's a little indecisive right now. Yeah, for sure, Martin. Need to wait for it to break out in either direction before we're looking to make a move. Looking pretty bearish though. Oh, as it's chopping here, I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we made it down to that first target at 28.1950. It might have been by accident, but it made it. So we took that short setup there to the 50% retracement, down to the first target. And Paul, I did just read your email, and I appreciate that tip. I'm going to try that right now. So Alt, up on the arrow key, and down on the arrow key to change your bar size. Thank you for that, because that dialog box that pops up does not do it. And I will go ahead and check my indicator. So pivots. Use daily bars. So I'm good there. And you said your pivot point's at 28.19. Where is mine? I lost my pivot points. Try removing them and put them back in. Use daily bars, apply. Okay. So I've got one up there. Oh, there it is, right there. 28.20. That's kind of weird, huh? You got filled at the 28.1950, Martin? Alright, we're rooting for you. Going up to 21.50? That should make it. That's a good scalp. We will get that scalping strategy, I promise. We'll get her done this week. Still looking bearish, but it could go either way. So if you had gotten in on that short trade, the second target would be the 23% or negative 23%. That'd be a long shot at this point. It's just moving sideways here. Get there, Martin, get there. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. Appreciate you guys stopping in, supporting us. We're just a bunch of new beginner traders and learning some strategies and the basics of trading, learning the platform, entries, exits, risk management. Definitely appreciate anybody's input. If you have any, throw it in the chat there. All right, Bobby, stop. Thanks for stopping in. We'll check you out tomorrow. Yeah, I think so too. Hard to tell right now. I mean, I think the buyers are a little hesitant right now just because of that big drop we had here, but do have a nice support area right there at the 1950. Just going sideways. There you go. Couple more ticks. Yeah, this is a pretty good sell-off there, so hopefully we'll get a nice big push back up. See, we got in originally at that 20. Believe it or not, we would have still been in the trade. Finally starting to push higher. I'd be a little more comfortable to make a long trade once it breaks these recent highs. We'll draw up the new short. Entry area would be right in there, right at the top of that channel. Nice scalp there, Martin. It's still good for the short trade. We want one tick past the 61.8, which is okay. I would definitely make sure that it's going to hold there though, because it's coming off that double bottom and this sell-off. Not sure which way it's going to go. Technically speaking, the long still did hold up, so we could still be in a long trade here. Go to from that 19 or the 14, the overnight low, up to the most significant recent high, and you're still in a long trade, right in the middle of the entry area. We'll see which one holds. As of right now, we're starting to form this wedge here. Okay, so that short was broken, and that short was broken. Looks like we might still be going long. Keep that upper channel line there in place until we see if it's just a fake out breakout or if it's going to actually hold. Still got a good short trade from up there. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Alright, so it looks like we're out of that. Looks like the bulls are back and might be heading upward. So far today we took one long trade. We had our entry from that low up to this high. We had the long signal right here, came down to our 50% retracement. Bought in at 28.20. Took our first contract off at the 22.50 just to lock in some profit for that trade. And we started running into trouble up here where it double topped. So we moved our stop up below this low swing, and then the news came out and we got stopped out on the other side. But we locked it in for some decent profit. Alright, the bulls are back. That short's broke. Looks like we're going to start breaking these highs here, so we'll be looking to go long again. Nice. See if we can pull back to our entry area here, 50% at 22. So going from like a 21.50 up to 24.75, that's a good risk to reward. That's a good trade. Like to see it break this high back here, but we are making new highs here, so I don't think it's quite ready for a significant pullback yet, so I think we're getting a confirmation here that it's going to break these highs. Take a look at the bigger time frame. We're still in a long setup on the 15-minute. Draw from the most recent significant low up to the high. Pulled back to our entry area here a few times, and now it's heading up towards that 26 target. I think it's going to make another move up here first before we get the pullback that we're looking for. Which is okay with me. That's just confirmation that we're in the long. If we can break that, break this high, that'd be nice. Looks like we're gonna just hang in limbo here for a minute. So we just ticked that high there, so let's see if we can get past it. Should see some resistance here, might get our pullback. If not, next resistance area is going to be that 26 level. And if we can push through that, it's going to be off to the races, hopefully. Question is Martin going to trade this double top? There's the daily picture there. We're still trading within yesterday's range. Hopefully, if we can get past that 26 area, we can break outside. But for the most part, it's been pretty sideways. With as big as these channels that have been forming are, still get some decent trades in there. We had a 8-point channel there. Then we had this channel here going up. That was 8 points. Might have been a little bit more actually. So we broke that high back there. That's a good sign. This is your most recent significant low, but we won't draw that up yet just because the risk to reward just isn't there yet. But we did hold that trade so far, going from a 24 and a quarter up to a 25.50. There's just not enough spread there. We'll wait for the little bit bigger pullback and then get in if it ever makes it there. If you look at our 15-minute setup, just about up to that first target. Made it down to the entry area here a few times. Just about there. There it goes. And that would have been good for a good 6 points. Yeah, we had a couple good signals at that last trade. We had the bottom of the channel. The bull. We had a. We were at the bottom of the bull channel at the time. We also had support from this earlier channel, or from the range, and we had the 50% retracement right there. So that one worked out pretty well. Didn't quite make it up to its targets. It ran into some trouble there, but I think we made the right call, taking some profit out early. Yesterday, that trade that we did with Martin, it ran up, I think, what, 8-10 ticks, and we watched it come all the way back down. So I didn't want to see that happen again today. So this smaller retracement from that low to this high came down to the 50, went up to the first target, went up to the second target. Would have been a good trade, but the risk to reward just wasn't there. But if you were looking to get in on the upward movement, you could have done it there. taken some profit out at the first target and gotten a free trade out of it. All right. Yeah, we should get a nice push upwards here now that we've broken that high back there. See if we can get enough spread here to get a trade. Got about a 2-point spread there. Looking for a little bit more. Yeah, I had the DSL a couple years back, and I really didn't like the DSL. Cable, without a doubt, is a little bit more reliable. Yeah, pivot trader, it's looking that way for sure. That would be nice. We just need a good entry here. Pivot trader, have you ever used the pivot trading strategy as far as bouncing off the pivot areas or breaking through the pivot areas? And I only ask you that because of your name. Looks like we might get the pullback we're looking for here, hopefully. We'll look for it to pull back and sit right on top of that 22. Hopefully. Oh yeah, I was just asking you if you've ever used the pivot level strategy as far as it, bouncing off the pivot levels or breaking through and going on to the next pivot. Gotcha. Yeah, Paula just brought the pivots to our attention and how the market reacts to them, and we've been keeping an eye on it too. Yeah, it seems like with the pivots, it's more of a like a general area. Um, it doesn't tend to hold right to it like a support level would, um, but you can definitely see the reaction to them. It just seems like price level supports and resistance seem to hold a little bit better than the pivot points. Well, the pullback's coming. We're just waiting for it. It's taking its time. We are looking for a decent scalping strategy. If you guys know of any, um, you can send us an email. Um, we're using the Fibonacci retracement strategy right now, but we'd like to incorporate a scalping strategy into the stream just so we have a few more entries during the day that we can take. Go ahead and put my email address in the chat. If you guys have any ideas, shoot them over. Yeah, I like the Fibonacci retracement strategy myself and figure with the stream we'll try a couple different strategies out and see which one we like. But we will be sticking with the Fibonacci strategy as well. So the only setup we've gotten so far on this upward move is this one right here. We had the pullback to the 50%, but the risk to reward just wasn't there, and we didn't take it. But that one paid off for sure. Came right back down to that level though after it hit its targets. So now we're just waiting for either a bigger pullback or for it to continue upwards here. Yeah, it's not a bad idea to use, different strategies together, the pivots and the Fibonacci's. You tend to get a stronger signal for sure if they coincide with each other. For instance, if we had, if this pivot level was up in here, that'd be a pretty strong trade for us because we know we have the support at the pivot and we've got our retracement entry area. Looks like it's working its way back up to that 31. Just need a retracement here, come on. So on the 15 minute showing it's going to retrace down to this 23 area. So we'll keep an eye out and see if this holds here or if it's going to fall through it. If you guys are just joining the stream, welcome. Appreciate you guys supporting the stream. We're here every morning at 9 a.m. sharp. Get our charts and everything set up for the day. This is a completely free trading room. No sales pitches, no affiliations. Just looking to learn, trade, and share. Let's not get carried away, Raphael. We're not quite there yet. But I like where it's going for sure. I feel like we're missing out here on this upward move. Real nice structure to it. You got a nice push and ease, push and ease. Just not giving our entry. We'll see if it holds in this area. If it does, we may get in on it. If it gets down there, for the love of God. It's not quite the spread we're looking for, but it's a little bit better than the last one. I have a feeling it's going to push back up to that high from yesterday, the 31, which we saw back here. And that was yesterday, just after open. If you're looking at my time down here, it's 2 hours off from New York. It's 2 hours behind. For the sake of the stream, I probably should change my clock on the computer. So if you draw that retracement up, it's holding right in the entry area here. Go figure. Not coming back for our risk to reward to the longer trade. I suppose we could get in there, but it'd be breaking the rules. Let's see if it's going to hold here.
Order pending.
Alright, so we'll see if we can get in here for the sake of the stream. Don't want to bore you guys to death. I think it'll go. I think we're heading up to that 31 mark. Just hope the bulls aren't running out of steam. They did do a nice move up here. And we really should expect a little bit bigger pullback. If it's going to pull back any bigger, it's going to pull back to the 23 area, which would definitely endanger this trade. Getting some resistance there. If it fails here, we may cancel this trade. And I think we'll get in down here instead. because you can kind of see what's forming here. Got the shoulder, the head, and then this would be the shoulder again on this side. And then what happens is it tends to drop down on this side, which would probably bring it back down to our full retracement area. So I think we're going to wait on this trade.
Order canceled.
Sorry about that. I have a feeling we're going to see some strong selling over here on this side. Yeah, who said trading was going to be exciting, Martin? They were lying. I think a good scalping strategy would help alleviate some of the boredom. I know a lot of the scalping strategies are based off of a 5 minute chart. Take a look at that. We'll find one. We'll figure it out. So we're starting to form that head and shoulders now. Should probably expect it to drop down here. It's just taking its time doing it. Yeah, I hear you on that, Martin. I think the 24.25, that'd have been this retracement here, maybe. It's still above it. Boy, this move could take all day. Yeah, it actually tested that price twice. Once here and then again over here. Come on, you know you're going to go down. Just get it done already. All right, looks like that retracement held, made it up to the target. See if it can keep going or if it's going to come back. Looks like it would want to fall out of the channel here. Just waiting for it to happen and get that little bit bigger retracement so I can get in. Thought it was going to do it here, but it held. Hopefully this is the move we've been waiting for. It's finally broken out of that channel. Could come down to here and just start chopping back and forth. Hopefully it doesn't do that. Hopefully we get a decent retracement and have the bulls push back somewhere around in here. Not a super convincing move. Most exciting part of the day, waiting for your setup. Hopefully we can get into a trade here shortly. Not sure where that came from, but we finally broke that 28. Well, somebody had to take over, for the love of God. Hopefully it's the Bulls, and we'll see if we can get a retracement here to get into a trade. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Not trying to bore you to death or anything, we're just waiting for our setup. Can probably expect that 27 to be a support. That's going way back. Had quite a bit of action right around that area. And ironically, it puts us right in our retracement area. We won't take that trade only because of the risk to reward on it isn't big enough. Like to see it retrace back down to here at least. Top of this channel here is heading right back towards that 31 from that high yesterday. See it on the 15 right there. So far today we've taken one trade, had really strong signal. Now it's back here. We bought in at the 50% retracement there. Took our first target at 2250. The market double top there, so we moved our stop up, and then the oil inventories and housing reports came out and took a quick slide down and stopped us out. But we had locked in some decent profit, so we were up 278 on the day after commissions. Then we've had a couple other small setups, but nothing within our risk to reward ratio to where they'd pay enough for us to take them. And then it's just been kind of a slow grind up after that news came out. We did have one setup right here. Came up, retraced back to its 50%, then came up and hit both targets. But we didn't take that one because the spread was only 24 and a quarter up to 25.50. Just not big enough. Well, guys, looks like we're going to be grinding to another halt here. Um, I've got some work to do down in the garage. But no worries, we're going to do it all again tomorrow. Um, Either it's going to come up to that 31 and then do a full retracement, or it's just going to grind to a halt here and pull back. But that's just my opinion. It could do anything at once. Um, just look for that retracement down to the either the 26 area or the 27, depending on how far back it pulls to which low. But either way, I appreciate you guys tuning into the stream and supporting the stream. Um, if you'd like, you can hit the subscribe button. That helps bring more people to the stream and have more people to talk to. Um, Same thing if you want to hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Either way, we'll see you guys again tomorrow, and thanks for stopping in. And if you guys have any questions or anything, I'll drop my email in the chat there, and you can send me an email. Other than that, my name's Lonnie. I appreciate you guys stopping in, and we'll do it all again tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, guys.